Hi, my name is Bradley Burt. I'm the founder of Outpost 422. Today, I want to have a difficult discussion and try to cultivate dialogue for my concerns for safety on college campuses in the form of queermongering of student veterans. In my research, my honors research at Madison College, I examined the variables between reintegration and readjustment for those who have military service backgrounds in college institutions. Queermongering is a term that I've created that represents attrition and cultural incongruity. Attrition is a recruitment model that college institutions use to weed people out, just like in the military. And from what I understand with my research, I found that only 38% of us make it to the graduation stage and receive an undergraduate degree. My concerns are for mental brutality. That undergoing this type of ritual hazing against us, that it keeps us trapped in our survival mind. And to help you better acquaint yourself with queermongering and how to allow you the opportunity to survive, I've actually reached out to the VA Inspector General, the Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, Secretary Collins of the VA, and President Donald J. Trump. You see, on college campuses under the USERRA Act of 1994, a college campus or a workplace is supposed to provide us with an open and welcome environment. Gender fluidity and its domestic terrorism roots do not allow us that. So what I'm lobbying for through Outpost 422 is to ask all of those who have attended the University of Wisconsin-Madison and Madison College, who identify as student veterans, to please come forward and share your story. I'm asking for a town hall eventually at the William S. Middleton Memorial Hospital in Madison, Wisconsin, to begin calling out the University of Wisconsin-Madison and Madison College for its queermongering attrition practices. But most of all, if you are a veteran in the state of Wisconsin who is still trying to work through and sort through why the Veterans Museum was spray painted and why we had to come to the rescue and aid to try to restore and prepare that, queermongering also applies to you. Queermongering is my college research, understanding how power groups run student veterans off campuses. And in my situation today, the Madison College Student Senate is bringing false allegations against me in the form of libel, in the verbiage in a bill called Bill 004, claiming that I acted aggressively as the parliamentarian when an individual, a minor, identified as a domestic terrorist and denied me the opportunity to fully exercise if you see something, say something for concerns for safety by a fellow student Senate member. I was asked by the Vice President of Administration and Finance to join Fact with Law, which per my training, which is called stare decisis, and prima facie, which means the origination of these claims refer to and could be construed as giving legal advice. Now, I'm new in the law field, and I apologize at any point if I've made any claims that were not accurate. It is not my intent to steer anyone in the wrong direction, just simply to point the viewer, you as the viewer, to something that is very concerning on college campuses that is not being looked at. And in my situation as a client with the Wisconsin Division of Vocational Rehabilitation, the employers that I've worked for have also queermongered me. Put me in situations where my safety was compromised, and when I tried to speak up, said indirectly, things don't rise to the occasion. Things don't qualify for human resources to take and act in a diligent manner. Meanwhile, my military service was profiled and then was required to fill out an interactive dialogue process questionnaire. Queermongering asserts itself and assumes our consent. We are the ones who use the GI education benefits. And for institutions like Madison College and the University of Wisconsin-Madison to put memorandums and directives in place to target us for having post-traumatic stress disorder or the like, and to say you have permission to act in this manner, which I have uncovered in my ongoing issues with HRs, that queermongering does exist. And what it is that what I found in my research across the nation is that veterans are using courtesy titles in solidarity amongst the veteran community, supporting us as student veterans. We're saying we don't use pronouns. And when this happens, the institution retaliates. The institution has retaliated against me 17 times. And yet I'm still in the institution. You know why? Because I'm in the institution to make change for all of us. So please continue to support Outpost 422 and read the material that I've provided to you both in the description below and in the blog. And please, if you would like to have your story heard, I will protect your identity under 2 pseudonyms, John Q. Battlefield or Bob Cobb, to allow you the right to come forward and share your story. Now, if you're a woman who wants to share your story, we will create a pseudonym for you, tailored to you, for you to be able to share your story and to be able to share it with also Microsoft as I go on to round 2 for Makeathon from 2025's Hackathon in Tampa, Florida. I'm asking Microsoft, I'm asking the VA, I'm asking community care to recognize queermongering as a variable, as an obstacle that is stopping veterans from succeeding, that is allowing us the right to feel welcome on college campuses, but most of all, putting targets on my back in Bill 004 by Madison College Student Senate, predominantly authored by an individual named Quinn Matson, that did not allow me the right to dissent or bring my own personal story forward, and the evidence against these allegations that the advisor is fully aware was under his advisement, or made claims against me saying that I created this aggressive environment and never did. Acting as the parliamentarian, we had an issue. With the Wisconsin Shared Governance, the previous administration under President Kai Brito put together a bill to stop me, the electee of the Vice President of Legislative Affairs seat, to decide whether or not to accept the role of governor and attend the Wisconsin Shared Governance sessions. The group wrote a bill to change the wording, and then that wording then came back on me from the electee, Senator Sindar, to require we create a new committee after making this bylaw change, giving me extra work to do that was not there before I took over. And for the subject matter of discussion in this situation, I'm calling it queermongering. I wrote Bill 003 through a pseudonym called Fist of Senate, which was a show on Clarion Radio, to allow peaceful dialogue and a fist bump after we are done. This has been read into several sessions. But the issue is Student Senate is selectively publishing on YouTube certain meetings, and the public doesn't see them all. From what I understand, from what I've uncovered, and from what I've witnessed sitting in the seat of the Vice President of Legislative Affairs. Now, I can't go into detail, but I can say this, that in this situation, my identity was attacked. I identify as a straight white Christian male, and that I do not use pronouns, I use courtesy titles, in solidarity with veterans in my Madison College honors research. I've decided not to pursue the master's, but to create a whole new systemic change through artificial intelligence, through the pseudonym Bob Cobb, to create a sheepdog intercepting server to deny the institution the right to bring college research forward by veterans without going through my pre-server first. With that, we have Outpost 422. And through Outpost 422, we have a confessional of identity protection to prevent future veterans from being queer-mongered like I have at Madison College. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video and for voting for me as your Vice President of Legislative Affairs in the 64th session. The Madison College Student Senate is corrupt. It operates on a gender sexuality alliance cabal led by 3 individuals and the advisor. And when we tried to bring it forward to the president, I received backlash, which eventually led to my resignation in the drafting of Bill 004. For the record, the Madison College Student Senate did not allow Bill 003 to see the light of day. They buried it in Bill 004 under evidence. Regardless, the Rules Committee voted 2 yeas, 2 abstains to bring Bill 003 forward. However, we took it back to committee, and that's where it stands. I've reached out to Madison College Student Life Advisor Ellie Rome, past Student Senate Advisor, on several occasions about the disorderly conduct and the attempts to usurp me by the advisor and members of the Executive Council. I have made my statement. I am absolved from any future legal liability of Student Senate under my watch. And quite honestly, if an individual perceived me as aggressive, that was never my intent. My intent was to be very straightforward and not to take sides, and to see to it that justice, representing as a student veteran, saw light. Facts on its face. Vice President Madsen altered my minutes, did not allow me the opportunity to speak freely, and suppressed my freedom of academic expression as the representative of your Vice President of Legislative Affairs at Madison College. Outpost 422 started out as my show as the Clarion Radio General Manager of broadcast during the pandemic. It is a mock-up, a model, a demo of how we created and cultivated dialogue regarding student veteran affairs. And since then, I have been oppressed by Madison College to try to bring these issues forward. In my honors research, Dr. Angelica Gulbis created a hostage-taking environment and would not let me write my paper. And I took this before Student Senate, which is my original position. That is precedent in this case. That Madison College and its queer-mongering attrition model must cease and desist. And I've asked the president, the vice president, the secretary of the VA, and also the inspector general of the VA to inspect Madison College, its Veterans Integration and Academic Leadership Program that I am a graduate from, and reconsider moving all veterans to a remote campus, to quarantine them from the queer-mongering, to have a structured classroom that monitors this behavior and puts a stop to it. I will continue moving forward, and again, now that I'm back in the VA system, having a starting over session, I want to create a queer-mongering support group called Outpost 422. In this group, what I hope to do is create a science communication panel to allow you, as a student veteran, the right to speak freely. You have the freedom of academic expression to drive your research, and nobody can ever take that for you. Again, my name is Bradley J. Burt, the founder of Outpost 422, and I certainly hope eventually to bring this subject matter to light and allow student veterans the right to feel welcome on college campuses. If you are a student veteran, I strongly urge you not to go to Madison College, not to go to UW-Madison, but to find UW-Milwaukee as your home. Because at UW-Milwaukee, we have a robust Veteran Welcome Center. We have a veteran welcome community. And I strongly urge every single veteran in the state of Wisconsin to follow the path of 101st Airborne Commander, whom I forget his name, but is an actual UW-Milwaukee alum. Veterans are welcome at UW-Milwaukee. Veterans are not welcome at Madison College, nor are they welcome at either University of Wisconsin-Madison. So please, if you're using your GI education benefits, put the power of that benefit in the hand of those who support you, who do, at UW-Milwaukee. And in no way, shape, or form does UW-Milwaukee support these claims. These claims are made independently from my own personal self-reported research about attrition and cultural incongruity on a college campus. Thank you for supporting Outpost 422. Have a great day.